How are you doing?
Very good.
Good. How
Uh,
is everybody? How
Good.
do I
I'm
make this
doing
fun?
wonderful. It's almost 9 p.m. here, but I'm
Oh,
oh my
excited.
goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
really?
I live in Brussels.
No way. Well, thanks for
Yeah,
signing in at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
sure. Thank you
Yeah,
for.
it's still the middle of the day and we got
So,
so much energy.
middle of the day, rip roaring full of energy.
I still have a lot of energy as well, don't worry. And yeah,
Okay.
I'm so excited to get to talk to you today about your movie, When I Said I Do. I have to say that I really enjoyed it because it felt so grounded and authentic, and it's inspired by the song When I Said I Do by Clint and Lisa Black,
Mm.
a song which is about commitment and enduring love. And so I guess my first question would be, what do you think this story, your story, adds to the message of the original song?
Oh, I'm like going through the lyrics in my head. I mean, it's about moving through all of the odds of life and all of the things that scare us and deciding that I'm going to choose to make a commitment anyway, even though nothing is guaranteed and um, we can't we can't guarantee that nothing bad will happen. That's actually a line he says in the movie. But we choose to go ahead and make that commitment anyway. I mean, the movie very much is about risk
Mhm.
and about vulnerability and surrender and allowing things to come into your life that
Yeah.
might scare you.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I think those are all tied to the theme of When I Said I Do.
Yeah, so like I said, the film is inspired by that song and art inspired art, right? And so I was wondering if either of you ever been inspired creatively by a song or painting or photography or yeah, or a book in your own lives?
Absolutely. Every day. I mean, there's different times, like even as in performing, where I'll like set the mood with a particular song for a particular scene. Or if I'm writing or doing anything creative, even cooking, music will really influence how I feel when I'm cooking because
Yes.
it's still a
Exactly.
creative and expressive act. So I think art, inspiring art is all art is based off of art that's happened before because we are the sum of the things that we've seen,
Mm.
the sum of the movies we've watched, the paintings we've seen. So whenever I feel artistically stagnated, I go out and seek more art. It's when the perfect time to
Yeah.
go see a concert, go to a gallery, watch a movie, watch a play. Is
Mhm.
it's always inspiring and it fills that like creative uh, void that you're feeling at the time. It's always inspiring.
On this one in particular too, our director Stefan Brogren created a playlist for
Hmm.
this particular movie, and it's funny because I listened through the whole thing and I didn't specifically connect to that playlist, but it inspired me to make my own playlist. So I
Yeah.
have a When I Said I Do playlist on my phone that is like I was finding all these kernels of the different pieces of Allie's journey, both from like heartache and messiness of not knowing what to do and feeling at sea to then falling in love to a song about God knew I needed you right at this moment in my life. Like there are all
Yeah.
these different colors of her journey that that playlist was playing on repeat the whole time we were shooting the movie in Ottawa, and it like allowed Allie to kind of come out to the surface for me.
Yeah.
Music is always like my first go-to
Yeah.
art.
Speaking of your characters, Addie and Sean, there are two people who work on a rescue team and they fell deeply in love with each other, but their personal traumas and emotional scars eventually begin to affect their relationship to the point that they are forced to confront those issues if they truly want to be happy together. So the movie kind of suggests that the hardest person to rescue is actually yourself.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I love that.
And I was wondering, is there anything that Ali and Sean's journey taught you about, for example, like you said, Sarah, earlier, vulnerability?
Vulnerability.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. I mean, I it's interesting. I think Sarah, the person, I live my life vulnerable first. Like my heart is out here all the time is how I kind of show up. I've always been that way. It means you do get stabbed sometimes, nicked along the way
Yeah.
because you do, you know, but I just find that when I offer vulnerability first, it allows other people to offer vulnerability back, and then you have
Exactly.
human connection and contact, which is, I think, the stuff of life. It's like what we're here to do is to connect, right?
Yeah.
So I have that. And then there are also areas in my life where I am very much like it has to be organized. I have to be in my rhythm. I have to be in my routine. And I don't want anything to mess with it or shift it in any way because that would feel too scary, or like I wouldn't be in control of that thing that I really care about. So I kind of live in this dichotomy, I think. And the interesting thing for Allie is that she's very much in this space of I need to make sure everybody else is okay before I'm okay. I need to look. My
Yeah.
husband died and it wrecked all of our lives, and upended everything. And before I think about myself in any way, I need to make sure my kids are okay and my parents are okay and blah 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 blah. And so it doesn't even occur to her to get to enter into a space of letting something beautiful happen to her. And enter Sean. This is where Sean comes in and kind of upends that for her, and it's terrifying. And she fights against it. Anyway, I see there's a lot of me and Allie in some ways. And there are probably things that I'll never take a risk on just because it's too scary. And I like playing the story through somebody else
Yeah.
because at least she did it. you know so there's a lot to learn, I think, from these kinds of stories. Yeah.
And you already do have something to add, or
Absolutely. I think as people we have the uncanny ability to pick the perfect partner we need in that moment to help us learn and grow as long as we're open to it. And I think for both Sean and Allie, they meet each other at this moment. They both have their own issues they need to work on in order to be able to be fully present, be fully vulnerable, be fully loving people.
Mhm.
And while they're coming at it from different sides, it's a beautiful mirror that they both need to work on themselves and grow so that they can be better together. And then the possibility of what life is, what love can offer us is just a life far richer than you had before,
Mhm.
especially if you're open and
Yeah.
vulnerable and can take that on. It's just your life grows in so many more beautiful ways.
It's a really scary thing to jump off that cliff,
Hmm.
and then you can fly.
Hmm.
Like it's the it's the craziest thing.
That's why they used to call it taking the plunge,
Yeah.
right? Like you got to just you're jumping into the unknown, and
Yeah.
there's that fear of wanting to hold on and control things. And I think you've said this beautifully many times. It's really about surrendering to the moment, surrendering to the vulnerability and honesty. And that was something that we tried to do while we were shooting, like when
Hmm.
we would approach the scenes and having it feel grounded, feel human. It was
Yeah.
surrender to the moment and you know to what Sarah would be offering instead of what my idea was of how we were going to make the
Hmm.
scene happen. It was like, what's happening now in the moment? What's real here right now? And working from that place. So that for me was very, very rewarding and made it feel alive.
It was
And
a really unique experience getting to play in the sandbox with Eric, because I think we both showed up with total vulnerability and openness, and like I don't know where the scene is going to go. I know what needs to be accomplished in this scene, but I don't know how we're going to get there. And we discovered pretty early on that all we need to do is like lock in with each other and listen. And then
exactly.
and then it just like went fizzy and beautiful and
Yeah.
took a shape and like became magic. At least from my perspective.
I don't know.
Go
Yeah,
again.
I was really amazing and it was magical for me, but it's true.
It felt
Yeah,
magical.
it's it.
And you know, there was a question that Clint Black said in the movie that's really stayed with me long after the screen went black, and it was, "What's the worst that could happen?"
Yeah, I love
And I
that
mean,
line.
and I mean, it's true because it's so easy to let fear stop us from taking chances. So I was wondering, do you ask yourself that question, or do you have a mindset, a quote, or even a philosophy that helps you take the risk, make the big moves, and yeah, just go for it even when you're scared.
Mhm.
Oof.
Absolutely. I think all growth that you have in your life, all good things, come from a moment of risk and discomfort. And the fact if it feels discomfort and you're feeling out of your element, then you know that's where you're supposed to be. Because if you're comfortable all the time, it's hard to grow as a person. It's hard to grow as perspective. You don't gain resilience, you don't gain perspective. But putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, whether that's going back to school or trying a new hobby or asking the pretty girl you work with to go out on a date, those risks provide such great dividends and it helps you grow. Like even if say in the movie he goes, "Hey, you want to go out sometime?" She says no, and that's the end of it. You still learn something, you still grow, you still risked it, and you don't have to
I love that.
wonder. So I think true when to grow as a person, to live life, you really do have to live with a sense of discomfort at times. You have to be risked. You have to take risks, and you also have to, sort of trust in the world around you that things are going to be okay.
And that even if you're hurt, you're going to learn something in that, because that's also the only place you grow
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
in through pain. Like
Yeah.
when everything is fine, you're like high,
Yeah.
and that feels great, but you're not growing, you're not learning
Mhm.
anything, you're just like enjoying, but which is also a beautiful part of life.
But it has to be the opposite.
But
Like
you
you
have
have
to
to
have the other piece. You
in
have
order
to
to
have the
experience
thing
that.
that's really really
Yeah.
hard so that you can. I mean, I feel like the biggest scariest risk I took was when I chose to start trying for a family
Mhm.
in my life. Like when I was terrified. I was not ready for years and years and years to have a child, and I was like, I'm gonna suck at this. I'm gonna screw this person up. I'm not gonna be good at this. I like adjust. Oh,
That's great.
that is where my brain went into like the deepest darkest pit of fear. And it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, and the most incredible thing I've ever done in my life. My kids are so freaking cool, and they teach me stuff every day. And like, if I hadn't jumped off that particular cliff because it felt really scary and I felt like I wouldn't be good at it, yeah, where I wouldn't have these creatures in my life.
Yeah.
And you know, I have another deep question, but in life we all experience what I call spark moments or turning moments. You know, those unexpected experiences, encounters, or choices that we make that are quietly shaping the rest of our journey. Like, for example, for Sean in the movie, being trapped in the fire when he was a kid became that turning point for him because that inspired him to become a firefighter because he wanted to help others that were going through the same thing as he did when he was a child. So for both of you, maybe we can start with Sarah or Eric. Well, would you be willing to share one of your own turning moments, whether it's career related or not? You know, something that happened to you or a choice that you made that still surprises you today because of where it led you.
The moment, the spark that I think I was very lucky when I was young. I got to step in front of an audience and perform for the first time, and I was 9, and it felt so magical and alive and surreal, like an almost like an out of body experience, like it
Yeah.
just felt it was like this heightened sense of what reality was. And I got to experience that. And before that moment, I thought I was gonna maybe go into a career and like I wanted to be like an animal documentary guy because I love those. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, me. And then I had that moment on stage and it felt so transformative and felt like the greatest game of pretend that you could ever imagine. And I just went, I want to do this. And I'll never forget that first feeling. And from that moment, that became the spark of my life and that joy and that moment that I still keep seeking out in life. And and then to be like now, years and years later, having those moments with Sarah on this movie where it was alive and it felt organic and it's its own thing to be rewarded with that years after taking many risks and people
Yeah.
questioning your career and what are you doing and $0 in your bank account and all of those moments, and then you get rewarded with just these little bits of magic. And so I feel forever grateful for that first opportunity that I got to stand on stage and have that feeling.
I would say something similar, maybe just because I'm listening to you and I want to copy what you're saying. But we've talked about this about how like us as little kids. Well, okay, I'll just speak for myself. That I had a hard time making friends as a little kid. Like I living in my own skin was very difficult for me specifically, and I found that when I stepped onto the stage and I realized I had this sort of raw gift to be able to take on another person's story and communicate it to an audience of people watching
Yeah.
was absolutely transformative for me because it was the one place I felt totally safe. Like I knew what I was doing. I didn't every line I had was a line somebody else wrote for me, so nobody could get mad at me for saying it. You know, I was fully embodying another person's story, so you can't hate me for it. You know, you can hate me, you can hate Sarah when she's sitting in second grade class doing whatever it is she's doing that you don't like, and I don't know why, but you can't hate Sarah for saying Samantha's line on stage. Do you know what I mean? I think finding home, it was like a real finding a home on stage for me that has then translated for the rest of my life. It's like it's been my greatest love has been getting to take on other people's stories and bring myself into it and pour myself out through their skin, basically.
Yeah.
Weirdly, that's weird,
Yeah, that's
but
great.
yeah.
You know, that's what I like about your movie. It's that it allows us to get to talk about different topics of this life, like the question I just asked you. And so, sorry, you were finished, Sarah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess I'm just, yeah, I guess I was just saying that I had a similar spark of this is where I feel the most alive. This is
Mhm.
where I feel accepted and I felt belonging and all of those things. And I've gone on in my life and I'm, you know, not that little kid that had a hard time making friends
Yeah.
anymore. But the joy of and the at home feeling of stepping onto a set or stepping onto a stage and getting to play make believe, the best game of pretend ever with especially when you have an acting partner like this guy right here. This was really rare and really special. Like we were able to like really lock in and find something very sparky,
Very sparky.
very
Yeah.
sparky. You know, it
Yeah.
was very 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 honest and grounded and real. And to get to and we had the freedom to get to play and kind of find our way through the scenes even though we were moving at a very fast pace.
Yeah, there's no time
There's
to
not a lot
yeah.
of time,
Yeah.
but we just would get on set and lock in and like make this thing happen.
Mhm.
You know, it was really, really, really fun.
We even sort of joked of like when we were doing it that like after we'd been shooting for a while, got to know each other better. It felt like those two little kids that found that spark for themselves,
Yeah.
that found that moment
Yeah.
getting to play together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it really felt like going back to that, you know, those first primordial moments in our discovery of this love.
Static
Yeah.
joy. Like
Yeah.
just like, ah, I'm six again and I have found the thing I love.
And I've got a friend to do it with. That's a, yeah. 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 That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Speaking of finding something that we love, you know, the movie also asks about what sacrifices are we willing to make for love, and can we truly be happy if we have to leave part of ourselves behind to be with the person that we love?
Oof.
So, where do you think the line is between compromise and losing yourself in the relationship?
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that's a great question.
I think it's a balance.
Yeah, I think it's
I
like an
think
everyday
there's
chipping away at it.
absolutely it's a constant give and take. And I've thought of a relationship like two separate rings, which is, you know, wedding rings make sense, but sometimes those rings are lined up together and they're like this. They look like one ring, and other times they're pulled apart and just barely connected.
Mm.
And your relationship needs to move through all of those different phases as you learn and grow and do things for you, but as you compromise to help your partner do the same. and it's a constant negotiation
Mhm.
because there are going to be times you give too much of yourself away and you start to lose yourself, and then you have to reclaim that space back, and then also to be able to build somebody else up and support them in a moment where that they need it when it's not about you. That's also such a gift to be able to provide that for somebody else. So I think it's a line that's negotiated every
Every
morning
day,
you wake up.
every day.
Like, what do you want for
Every
breakfast?
day.
Well, let's compromise.
Yeah, no, it is a work in progress all the time and requires you never get an A+ in it ever. You don't
Not
ever get
ever.
the
Never.
winning score. You're just in it. You're in it. You're in the life of it. Trying to find your way through how. Oh, there's a line that Clint and Lisa say about how love is not what we feel, it's what we do.
Yeah.
There's they say that at the beginning of the movie, I
Hmm.
think, and I love that kicks off the movie too because feelings come and go and are big and can be like epic and all the things, but it's really about the actions, like how do you show up for your partner,
And
and
yourself.
and yourself. Like
Yeah.
it is a you have to be actively caring for and loving both your partner and yourself all the time. And
Yeah,
that's again sometimes at odds and sometimes like
yeah.
magical.
And like you said, it's an everyday work because I mean, we we are always changing and becoming
Yeah.
a different person. Like I'm sure that you're not the same person, people that you were 10 years ago, and I'm not either. So yeah, that's definitely a work in progress. So you've been in the industry for quite some time now, and you've both been lucky enough to be part of projects that became cultural phenomena. Sarah, you played April Kepner on Grey's Anatomy, right? Eric, among many memorable roles. You played Whitney Fortman on Smallville. And so I was wondering, do you ever stop and think about uh, how many people grew up watching you, spending time with your characters, and just about the fact that you kind of became part of those people's stories? I think it's amazing, but I want to have your intake on that.
Do you know what's funny? Okay, just randomly. He and I actually met at a fan convention in Liverpool
That's
Oh,
right.
before we
That's
showed
right.
up to shoot the movie, but
Yeah.
I had just worked with Aaron Ashmore, so I was talking to him, and I have a picture that I showed him halfway through shooting with him walking behind, photo
I'm like
bombing behind us. I did like
randomly in the background.
and he's like
oh,
here.
Yeah.
Like anyway, but I bring that up because both of us were there for a fan convention to meet exactly the people that you're talking
yeah,
about, that we have had this like profound impact
Hmm.
on. And I find those experiences equal parts like elating.
I'll
Is
buy
that
it. That's a good
okay?
word.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for always just having my back when I
It's
screw up
just, I
with
mean,
words. Um,
yeah.
and also exhausting because there is an element of people coming to you and being like, for instance, April went through so much trauma. She lost a baby, she lost her marriage, then she almost died giving birth to another baby. Like she went through so much shit, but she went through so much stuff, and she came out the other side. She lost her faith for a while, and then had it back. And so when people meet me sometimes who took April's journey, there's so much emotion because what they're witnessing is they're seeing their own traumas and their own things that they're either in the middle of or have come out the other side of, or even if they're in the quagmire of it all, they're like, April Kepner can if April Kepner can get through it, I can get through it.
Mm.
And they have this kindred sharing that happens. And I will meet one every 3 minutes, at these conventions, right? So you're getting this like, you helped me through the death of my baby, and you're like, oh God, I wish I had 45 minutes to spend with you, but I have literally 2.5 minutes. And
Yeah.
and so there's a lot. It feels like such an honor and such a privilege to be a person that someone can feel their feelings through in a safe space where they can have a cathartic release because of something I'm saying in a show I'm
Yeah.
doing. And I'm somehow a sister to them in their pain and in their hope. And I never take it for granted. Whenever I mean, maybe sometimes I forget, but whenever I go to like a convention or that, it comes back in like tenfold, and I cry so many times at conventions. I try to not do it in front of the people, but I do because there's just like, poof, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming to feel that something that you got to be a part of has been so instrumental in either healing or anyway, I've talked too long. You can talk about
Not at all. It's something about the power of story and how
it.
it affects people, and you never know what it's going to be, what moment it is that people are going to attach themselves to. What's been interesting is that this year is the 25th anniversary of Smallville premiering, which is
Yeah.
That's crazy.
mind-boggling for me to
Wow.
say. And but the show has now hit other generations too, which at the time, I knew, oh, this is gonna be a popular show. This is a Superman show. It's like in this perfect moment in time. But then to be 25 years later, meeting people who where the show meant a lot to them, then they showed it to their kids, and their kids now have a relationship with it. And if for a lot of people, it's a comfort show for them too. Like they'll turn to it when they're feeling down, and it'll bring them back
Mm-hmm.
up. And like, there's so much to think that something that you made 25 years ago can still be bringing people comfort and joy and entertainment is it's first of all remarkable, incredibly humbling, and to the point of being able to be in a fan convention situation where you're getting to meet people and hear these stories. It enriches the moment that I had 25 years ago today. It makes the 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 harder days that existed then
All worth it.
all worth it, and it makes this continuing story of what my experience was on that show better and better over time, which I think is just special and
Yeah,
remarkable.
And I
that's really
think can
special.
translate to what I'm doing right now. Like anytime there is like a challenging moment on set or whatever, to be like, who's gonna remember? Who's gonna thank me for this particular show 20 years from now?
Yeah,
Do you know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
it's another
yeah.
way of like shifting perspective
Hmm.
too. Although we
Yeah.
have a very positive perspective most of the time, it's very hard
Yeah.
for us to need help.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But it's the power of story. It speaks to some of the responsibility that I think we both feel when we're doing something. We have a responsibility to the audience and to provide them with something that's real and real moments and real emotions and something to grab onto. And um, yeah, it's very special, and I will never
It
take it
is.
for granted,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel old. But it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, but
We are old.
you should come to Belgium once
Just
for a
we
fan
are.
convention. I'm sure that you will have a nice experience if you come here once.
I'd love
Um,
to.
I do have one last question. I don't know if I have time. It's a quick one. I think
Sure,
so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't actually know when the next one is.
So I don't know. Ask
Yeah,
away.
Go ahead.
one last question is good,
Okay,
Okay, great,
perfect.
Thanks,
great.
and then we'll
Brandon.
wrap.
Brandon.
So it's a question that I love to ask and that I ask to every guest I have on the show. So in your life, you did a lot of interviews, and I'm thanking you once again to do this with me today. I'm really grateful, and I'm having a nice time, and I hope that you do as well. And so my last question would be, if you could now interview yourself, what question would you ask?
Like if I could interview myself right now or my younger
Yeah,
self.
no, yourself right
Yeah,
now. What question?
yeah.
Like something that you would really want to share with people.
Mhm.
Oh,
Sarah Drew. Hi, Sarah. I'm Sarah. I'm Sarah Drew, just with some makeup on. And I'm wondering if you have anything that you would want to say to Sarah Drew. Any questions for Sarah Drew?
this is really going really great. The question that I have for Sarah Drew is, how does it feel to be Eric Johnson?
How does it feel to be Eric Johnson as Sarah Drew?
Sorry, we're not doing well.
We're gonna
No.
answer this question. It's gonna be great, Brandon, I know we're on a schedule. We're gonna get this. It's an important question.
I don't have an answer. I didn't know what we could ask.
I would ask myself, the question I'd ask myself is, what are you excited about? Because I always, I'm always excited about things. I'm always curious about things, and so for me, what am I excited about?
Yeah.
I'm excited about another wave of filmmakers coming up and storytellers and getting to support and be part of those stories, and find a way to take that experience that I've had in so many years and be giving that and being able to provide some of that to a new generation of filmmakers, be part of their stories, help them support those. I think and just like what's next? Like I just think there's another wave of people coming in to tell stories that hopefully will resonate with audiences, and 25 years from now they'll be at conventions for those shows as well. So I think that's what I would ask myself.
That's really good.
Yeah,
I
it
still
is.
don't know what I want to ask myself.
It's okay.
Um,
It's a tough one.
you have one? Do you have
For
something to ask
you?
me? Yeah.
For you? What was your favorite horrible joke that I've said on set?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite horrible joke
It,
that I...
it wound up in the movie.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
And what is this horrible joke? Mhm.
Okay. Here's the joke. What is Beethoven's favorite fruit?
What's what?
What is Beethoven's favorite fruit?
I don't know.
Banana. Terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I don't know.
He
It's the
asked
best
me.
joke that you've
No,
ever told.
that's terrible.
It's the best joke you've ever
Nope.
told.
They asked me to do it in the scene because I thought we weren't being recorded. And I thought it was just for happy, laughy vibes. And then I watched the movie and the joke is there. And it is not funny.
Great joke.
It makes me look like a dum-dum.
No,
But
it's the
fine.
best joke you've ever told.
It was your fault. You gave me the joke. Because I don't have jokes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, I didn't answer this in any kind of really professional, interesting way, but that's the best I
That's
can do.
okay. That's okay. It's a tough question, and Eric, you did well.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for your time. And yeah, I wish you a lot of success with the movie and with everything else, and just so yeah, have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.